Thanks for joining me on this journey to find out what the Quran actually says. This episode will definitely be a 3 surah episode, maybe even 4. Alright, yeah. A questioner asked concerning a torment about to befall upon the disbelievers which none can avert, from Allah the Lord of the ways of Ascent. That was Surat al-Maharij, the way of Ascent. Let's see, 70. A questioner asked about a falling torment to the infidels. No one can avert it. From Allah, the Lord of the ways of Ascent. Four, the angels and the Ruh ascend to him in a day, the measure whereof is 50,000 years. So be patient with a good patience. Verily, they see it afar off, but we see it near. The day that the sky will be like the boiling filth of oil, and mountains will be like flakes of wool, and no friend will ask a friend, though they shall be made to see one another. The would desire to ransom himself from the punishment of that day by his children, and his wife, and his brother, and his kindred who sheltered him, and all that are in the earth, so that it might save him. By no means. Verily, it will be the fire of hell, taking away the head skin, calling such as turn their backs and turn away their faces, and collect and hide it. Verily, man was created very impatient, irritable when evil touches him, and niggardly when good touches him, except those who are devoted to Salat, those who remain constant in there, and those in whose wealth there is a recognized right, for the beggar who asks, and for the unlucky who has lost his property and wealth, and those who believe in the day of recompense, and those who fear the torment of their Lord. Verily, the torment of their Lord is that before which none can feel secure. Four, the angels and the Spirit ascend to him in a day. Its duration was 50,000 years. So be patient in a beautiful patience. Surely they see it afar, and we see it near. A day the heavens will become like molten metal, and the mountains will become like wool, and no Hamim will be able to ask a Hamim. They will be made to see each other, and the criminal will desire to redeem himself from the torment on that day by his sons, and with his female companion, and his brother, and of his relatives who shelter him, and who are on the earth together, when then he delivers him. Certainly not. Surely it will be a flame, stripped to roast. It calls the one who has turned his back and retreated, and gathered, so kept it. Surely the human was created and anxious. When evil touches him, fretful, and when good touches him, greedy. Except those praying, those that are consistent in their prayers, and those who of their money there is no portion, for the beggar and the destitute, and those who believe in the judgment day, and those who are fearful from the torment of their Lord. Surely the torment of their Lord cannot be secure. That's 29 to the end. 29. And those who guard their chastity, except from their wives, or whom their right hands possess, for they are not blameworthy. But whosoever seeks beyond that, then it is those who are trespassers, and those who keep their trusts and covenants, and those who stand firm in their testimonies, and those who guard their well, such as dwell in the gardens honored. So what is the matter with those who disbelieve, that they hasten to listen from you in order to belie you and to mock you at Allah's book, in groups on the right and on the left? Does every man of them hope to enter the paradise of delight? No, that is not like that. Verily, we have created them out of that which they know. So I swear by the Lord of all the points of sunrise and sunset in the east and the west, that surely we are able to replace them by better than them, and we are not to be outrun. So leave them to plunge in vain talk, and play about until they meet their day, which they are promised, the day when they will come out of the graves quickly as racing to a goal, with their eyes lowered in fear and humility, ignominy covering them. That is the day which they were promised. And those who keep their private parts, except from their wives, or from what their right hands possess. So surely they are not blamed. So whoever desires to go beyond that, so those are the transgressors, and those who are shepherded to their trust and covenants, and those who stand by their testimony, and those who keep their prayers. Those are honored in gardens. So why are those who became infidels, who were before them, hastening on the right and on the left in bands? Does every one of them long to enter a garden of bliss? Certainly not. Surely we created them from what they know. So I will not swear by the Lord of the east and of the west. Surely we are able to replace them with a better one than them, and we will not be outrun. So leave them to engage in sport until they meet their day, which they are promised. A day they will come forth out of their graves in haste, like they are rallying to a standard. Their eyes will be downcast, humiliation will cover them. This is the day they were promised. Alright. That's it for this one, sir. That's why I think I'm going to get 3 and maybe even 4 in this episode. Got to throw my own little opinion in here. Well, actually, it's God's opinion. Those who your right hands possess is sex slaves. So the Quran there does authorize sex with sex slaves. The true and living God does not authorize sex with sex slaves. So if you've been doing that, I encourage you to repent. You have a good day. And let's get to the next surah. Alright. Surat and Naba. The great news. 1. What are they asking about? About the great news. About which they are in disagreement. Nay, they will come to know. Nay, again, they will come to know. Have we not made the earth as a bed, and the mountains as pegs? And have we created you in pairs? And have we made your sleep as a thing for rest? And we have made the night as a covering? And we have made the day for livelihood? And we have built above you 7 strong? And we have made them a shining lamp? I will have made a shining lamp. And we have sent down from the rainy clouds abundant water, that we may produce therewith corn and vegetations, and gardens of thick growth. Verily, the day of decision is a fixed time, and the day when the trumpet will be blown, and you shall come forth in crowds, and the heaven shall be opened, and it will become as gates. And the mountains shall be moved away from their places, and they will be as if they were a mirage. Truly, hell is a place of ambush, a dwelling place of the... They will abide therein for ages. Nothing cool shall they taste therein, nor any drink, except boiling water and dirty wound discharges. An exact recompense. For verily they used not to look for a reckoning, but they belied our completely. And all things we have recorded in a book. So taste you. No increase shall we give you, except in torment. Okay, this translator chooses to translate it as the news, not the great news. 78. Let's see, verse 1. What are they asking each other about the great news, which they are disagreeing with? Certainly not, they will know. Then certainly not, they will know. Have we not made the earth flat, and the mountains pegs, and created you pairs, and made your sleep resting, and made the night close, and made the day for livelihood, and built 7 strong above you, and made a shining lamp, and sent down abundant water from the clouds, to bring forth by it grains and plants. And gardens are intertwined. Surely the decision day was appointed. A day the trumpet is blown, so then you will come in crowds. And the heavens opened, so it was doors, and the mountains walked away, so it was a mirage. Surely hell was a place of snares, a refuge for the rebellious, tarrying in it for ages. They will not taste in it cold nor drink, only hamim and oozing pus, an exact reward. Surely they were not hoping reckoning, and they deny our verses, denying, and everything we counted a book. So taste, so we will not increase you except torment. 31 to the end. Yeah. 31. But whosoever seeks beyond that, then it is those who are trespassers, and those who keep their trusts and covenants, and those who stand firm in their testimonies, and those who guard their. Such shall dwell in gardens honored. So what is the matter with those who disbelieve, that they hasten to listen? Yeah, that did sound familiar. Oops. 31. Verily, there will be a success, gardens and vineyards, and young full-breasted maidens of equal age, and a full cup. No shall they hear therein, nor lying. A reward from your Lord, an ample calculated gift. The Lord of the heavens and the earth, and whatsoever is between them, the most gracious, with whom they cannot dare to speak. The day that Aru and the angels will stand forth in rows, they will not speak except whom the most gracious allows, and they will speak when it is right. That is the true day, so whosoever wills, let him seek a place with his Lord. Verily, we have warned you of a near torment, the day when man will see that which his hands have sent forth, and the disbeliever will say, Woe to me, would that I were dust. Real quick, time out from the actual reading. See, it fits all on one page. Well, starts here and ends here. It's a short one, that's why I'll be able to get 3 or 4 into this episode. 31. Surely to the fearing one's triumph, gardens and vineyards, and women of equal age with large breasts, and a cup of dihakan, filled, non-Arabic word of Mesopotamian origin. They will not hear in it vain discourse nor lies. A reward from your Lord, a reckoning gift, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and what is between them, the merciful. They will not possess the ability to speak with him. A day the Spirit and the angels stand in ranks. They will not speak, except those whom the merciful permitted and spoke truth. This is the true day. So whoever wishes will return to his Lord penitently. Surely we warned you a near torment, a day a man looks to what his hands have done, and the infidel will say, Oh, I wish that I was dust. Alright. Surat an Nazi'at. Those who pull out. By those who pull out, and those who gently take out, and by those that swim along, and by those that press forward as in a race, and by those angels who arrange to do the commands of their Lord. On the day, the earth and the mountains will shake violently. The second blowing of the trumpet follows it. Hearts that day will shake with fear and anxiety. Their eyes will be downcast. They say, Shall we indeed be returned to former state of life, even after we are crumbled bones? They say, it would in that case be a return with loss. But it will only be, only a single, when behold, they find themselves on the surface of the earth, alive after their death. The Snatchers. Different translation for the title, but not opposite meanings. Those are similar meanings, to pull out and to snatch. Let's see. By those who snatch with strength, and by those who draw gently, and those who glide smoothly. So those forerunners being ahead, so those who govern the affair. A day the quaking will quake. It will be followed by a blast. Hearts will quake on that day. Their gazes will be downcast. They will say, "Shall we return to the first condition? What if we were rotten bones?" They said, "This is a lost return." So surely it is only a single rebuke. So then they will be awakened. And so 1, 2, 39. Wrong chapter. There we go, sorry. 15. Has there come to you the story of Musa, when his Lord called him in a sacred valley of Tua? Go to Pharaoh, verily he has transgressed all bounds, and say to him, would you purify yourself, and that I guide you to your Lord, so you should fear him. Then showed him the great sign, but he lied and disobeyed. Then he turned his back, striving. Then he gathered and cried aloud, saying, I am your Lord Most High. So Allah seized him with punishment for his last and first transgression. Verily, in this is an instructive admonition for whosoever fears Allah. Are you more difficult to create, or is the heaven that he constructed sticky pages? There we go. He raised its height and has perfected it. Its night covers with darkness, its forenoon he brings out. And after that he spread the earth, and brought forth therefrom its water and its pasture, and the mountains he fixed firmly. Let's see, a provision and a benefit for you and your cattle. But when there comes the greatest catastrophe, the day when men shall remember what he strove for, and hellfire shall be made apparent in full view for one who sees, then for him who transgressed all bounds, and preferred the life of this world, verily his abode will be hellfire. But as for him who feared standing before his Lord, and restrained himself from impure evil desires and lusts. Oh, 40 was the... Okay, hellfire was the end of the series. 15. Have the sayings of Moses come to you? When his Lord called him in the holy valley of Tua, go to Pharaoh, surely he has rebelled. So say, would you become purified? And I guide you to your Lord, so that you may fear. So he showed him the big sign. So he denied and disobeyed. Then he turned back striving. So he gathered, so he called. So he said, I am your Lord, the highest. So Allah seized him with the punishment of the hereafter and of the first. Surely in this is a lesson to him who fears. Are you a stronger creation, or the heavens he built? He raised its height, so he leveled it. And he gave darkness to its night, and brought forth its light. And after that he flattened the earth. He brought out from it its water and its pastures. And the mountains he established, an enjoyment to you and your livestock. So when the big calamity comes, a day the human will remember what he strove, and hell went forth to whoever sees. So as for who has rebelled and has chosen the world's life, so surely hell will be the refuge. 40 to the end. 40. But as for him who feared standing before his Lord, and restrained himself from impure, evil desires and lusts, verily paradise will be his abode. They ask about the hour, when will be its appointed time? You have to acknowledge to say anything about it. You have no knowledge to say anything about it. To your Lord belongs the term thereof. You are only a warner for those who fear it. The day they see it, as if they had not tarried except an afternoon or a morning. Let's see, 40. And as for those who fear the position of his Lord and restrain their souls from the lust, so surely the garden will be their refuge. They ask you about the hour. When will it come to port? But what memory do you have of it? To your Lord is its end. Surely you are only a warner who fears it. A day they see it, it is like they have only stayed but a night or an afternoon. Restrain their souls. Alright. I'm confused about something. Feel free to chime in the comments to help me understand. It's promising great things to those who don't lust, but in today's reading we found sex with sex slaves authorized. Isn't that lust? And we found sex with sex slaves, and you're promised to have hurry with large breasts. Is that not using your lust, encouraging your lust, and allowing you to use your lust? Alright. Surat Infitar, the Cleaving. When the heaven is cleft asunder, and when the stars have fallen and scattered, and when the seas are burst forth, and when the graves are turned upside down, a person will know what he has sent forward and left behind. O man, what has made you careless about your Lord, the most generous, who created you, fashioned you perfectly, and gave you due proportion? In whatever form he willed, he put you together. Nay, but you deny. But verily, over you, to watch you. Let's see, writing down. They know all that you do. Verily, the will be in delight, and verily the will be in the blazing fire. Therein they will enter, and taste its burning flame on the day of recompense, and they will not be absent therefrom. And what will make you know what the day of recompense is? Again, what will make you know what the day of recompense is? The day when no person shall have power anything for another, and the decision that day will be with Allah. The Cleaving. When the heavens will cleave asunder, and when planets will disperse, and when the seas will explode, and when the graves will be strewn around, every soul will know, what it has advanced, and what it has delayed. O you, the human, what makes you proud against your generous Lord, who created you? So he molded you, so he shaped you in the right form. In whichever form he willed, he put you together. Certainly not yet. You denied by the judgment day. You denied by the okay, so it says by the And surely we are keepers over you, generous riders. They know what you are doing. Surely the righteous are in bliss, and surely the wicked are in hell. They will roast in it on the judgment day. They will never be absent from it. And what do you know? What is the judgment day? Then what do you know, and what is the judgment day? A day no soul will have anything for another soul, and the affair on that day will be to Allah. Alright, that's the end of this reading for today. Now I need to read Catching Fire by Susan Collins with my son, because I will just be so distracted at work if I do not know what happened to Katniss Everdeen in the Quarter Quell. You have a good day.